Hello, welcome to the Tuesday night music show. We have the core group here and Brian K as well, which is going to be a great asset for us tonight because we're going to talk about New Year's Eve playlist. Who's in front of you? What are we doing? John's idea and a good idea. Of course, Eric didn't agree, but we don't pay attention.
I don't agree with anything.
You're just a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
I have a New Year's gig. I think most of us here are doing something around New Year's. Oh, Jay, are you doing New Year's?
Nope, off this year.
Off this year. Okay, but you're doing
Got
things around
had
New
one
Year's.
offer, and it was just not enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I offered, instead of taking what they offered, I just said, you know what? We're going to say no to this one, I'm afraid.
I don't blame you.
We could probably come up $50. I'm like, you're down by about 300. I don't think 50.
Stay home with the family. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I've done that many years, but I enjoy working New Year's. I like working safe house New Year's primarily because it's a 4 hour gig.
Right.
It's 10 to 2. They don't. We can stay open all night in Milwaukee on New Year's. There's no closing time, but safe house does not do that. They close at 2. So a 4 hour gig is very nice. I don't mind it. So I'm still home at a reasonable time. I've worked New Year's gigs here before where I'm playing until 4 or 6 in the morning or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's happened.
That's all. That's a long night.
That turns into a New Year's Day gig.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Driving home in the sunlight.
So those of you who are watching, I mean, you may be watching this after New Year's because that's kind of when this stuff goes up typically. But do you have a New Year's gig? And if so, what are the times on it? Let us know. Let us know in the comment section. Is it a mobile club situation? What's going on? Let us know. John, what do you got cooking this year?
I'm going to be at the place I was at last year. So it's a function area in a restaurant on the North Shore, and it's a ticketed event. So it's a lot of their like year-long regulars that come, but they don't really have functions or events. So it's a real cross section of all ages. Yeah, there will be. It's an upscale place, so you'd probably like the 30s to 40s would be a heavy percentage, and there's probably going to be a lot of that 50 to 65 too. And
sure.
So you gotta kind of check everybody's boxes, so to speak. You do enough of the new music that the people that are younger will be interested, and if you do cater to some of the older folks that are there, that's our age or a little older. You gotta bring it back. You can't stay there. You know what I mean? You can just see on the faces if you've been on one thing too long. So you have to kind of look and see what's happening around you. When the young people are up, if they're on the floor, you give them a bunch of energy shots. But the secret weapon last year, believe it or not, was disco.
Yeah,
disco was the one thing everyone agreed on. The young people got up for it. The older people knew it, and I kind of figured out the secret sauce about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And like it's every time it was just dropping a Dancing Queen or a Bee Gees, it was like, I'm like, okay. So that's what you're coming back to. So you take chances and you reach out here, because some people wanted the classic rock and some people wanted the what's on the radio now. But it's nice to have a balance. And it's you're just kind of riding that wave through the course of the night where you say, I don't want anybody to feel left out. These people paid money to be here. I got to do something for each and every one of them. And you're basically laser targeting certain people. If you see someone not dancing, what do I have to play to get to this person? And you try to crack the code. But as I say, disco kind of worked, and like the 70s classic rock. Like I had a full dance floor to like Stuck in the Middle with You from Steelers Wheel. And,
that's awesome.
Like the Sweet Home Alabama got people up. Like Steve Miller got people up. I was like, oh, okay. Nice. But then you had to balance that off with the younger people's Taylor Swift and Chipotle didn't exist yet, but you hit them with some Dua Lipa and modern sounding stuff. And so early on, I had the older group, and as the night progressed, I guess some of the younger people started coming in. So I've got the old people already locked in. I knew what I was doing. Right, but they're coming up and they're like, "Yeah, we want Usher, we want Lil Jon, and we want." I'm like, "This is going to totally alienate everyone that's been vibing with me for." So you just have to sprinkle it in a little bit, and you just don't go overboard and just flip the page and forget what you built. So you have to kind of look at the night as a whole, and that's kind of my strategy on what I plan on doing. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions as far as forgotten disco or classic rocks that you think are bangers, but. As I say, it took me a little bit to land there, but once I got into the sweet spot, everybody was jamming. So That's what I'm hoping for this year.
It's hills and valleys for me too. I mean, it's old, new, and I'm going anything from I don't mess with the country. I mean, it's all up tempo. Everything's up tempo.
Mhm.
So it's, everything from the 80s all the way through now. And I'm hitting, EDM bangers. I'm doing, silly stuff from the 90s, silly stuff from the 2000s. It's just all over the place. Boy band stuff, whatever. And no matter what you do, they respond. After a certain time, they're just going to dance to anything. It seems that's the crowd I'm getting anyway. What do you got cooking this year, Bri?
I'm at my home club that I have done the last 10 years in a row.
Sure.
Probably, every playing 9 to 2, but by 12:30, 90% of the people are gone anyway. So
They go bar hopping?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're there to see the ball and
Yeah.
get their free champagne at midnight, and they're off.
Is it, other than that, is it much different on New Year's for you than it is any other night?
No, nothing really different. There's you get the same people.
You do? Okay.
We don't get a holiday crowd, if you want to say that.
Yeah. We're a ticketed event, so we get all kinds. We're getting people that we wouldn't normally get. So it's an oddball group, but that's almost fun. That's almost a lot of fun. I was going back in my camera reels, looking at my pictures from last New Year's. There's a lot of stuff I did not post. And boy, what a fun crowd. What a fun crowd. What a nice crowd. Nice groups of people. Young, old, didn't matter. Everybody was having fun. I'm sure they were 21 to 75 in there that night, and they were all super cool and just chilling together and jamming. So it's different for me.
Not to rain on this, Brian, but
you're going to bring us down
a little bit. Well, this is the reality of companies wanting to make money and not putting any back into it. Have they fixed the sound system?
No, I'm bringing mine. I know it'll work. It'll sound great. It'll sound better than it does anyway.
So here we are 365 days later and they still haven't done anything?
No. But you know what? I could complain about it, or I can just cash in. I can just write checks. And so I just write checks.
That's fine. I've got a party coming to Milwaukee, and that's a club we were considering. It's about 95 of us coming in about late January, early February. I'm afraid that we'll probably be using another venue due to the fact that this place obviously isn't going to take care of us if they can't take care of their own sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I just did.
Thanks, Karen.
No, that's ridiculous. I mean, I know your attitude about it, and you're like, yeah, I've got a gig. I'll go get paid. I'll bring my sound. I just think it's nuts that these, a year later, they haven't fixed it and or taken advantage of your services throughout the year with a new system.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you more about that when we're not recording. There's some developments down there.
People
So
I'm bringing to Milwaukee later this year in July. We'll be going to our local park and having a keg.
Yeah, you'll be having a park day.
We're having a spy theme party too.
A day in the sun.
73,000 of us coming to town. So we'd hope to go to a spy theme place.
Well, you could still go there, and then you could have me just bring sound. It would be fine. And I'd get paid.
I trust my own stuff more than
tops aren't going to do it.
Right, I do too. It sounds
you walk
great
in,
there.
it's like everyone else has been abusing the sound system all year. I'd rather bring my own stuff.
I've got it figured out. It does sound better than anything they've ever had in there. What the way I do it, it sounds phenomenal.
And you're bringing, what are you bringing, 30s?
Yeah, 30 amps. Well, but that's for dance. You got to understand, the dance floor is not huge. It's probably, I don't know. It's probably the size of my studio. And, well, I mean, the bar is big, but the dance floor itself isn't very big. They overflowed the dance floor. And there's seating off of it, too, that people dance at, but the actual dance floor itself is not monstrous. If
the crowd's happy, I did 2 DAS, 2 Yamaha, and a Peavey for about 6 New Year's Eves in a row with between 500 and 800 people on the floor. But the dance floor area was probably 15 by 30, maybe 40. And with that many guys, because it was all men, in there dancing with lights and sound and windows open. And, it didn't have to be deafening. Yeah. And I just had a speaker in each corner. and I never got a complaint. And even I looked at it like I'm pushing these speakers, but you know, everyone had a great time. So I think if you do what you're supposed to do with sound, you're going to be fine.
No, it's fine. The rest of the place is fine. It's just the dance floor is gone. So there's
Right.
sound everywhere else. All the bars have sound and all that. It's just the dance.
Oh, they do. Oh, I misunderstood. I thought the whole club sound was
No,
knocked out.
no. It's
Oh,
just,
that's why they don't care.
it's just dance floor.
Yeah. So if they're not using the dance floor, why do they care if there's no sound?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
they're not running the works.
I've got a little over 1.3 million people I'm entertaining in Milwaukee next year. We'll consider it now.
They just can't dance. 'Cause
I can bring.
Dance
No,
floors
I'm not
have
doing
work.
sound for the whole place. Just dance.
Our
Blew
theme
the
song
dance
is
floor system.
Genesis.
I
Can't dance. I
I
mean,
can't dance. Yeah.
it
or
seems
Eddie,
a little
Eddie
too.
Grant. I don't want to dance.
Yeah.
It seems a little too serendipitous.
So Eric, what do you have cooking this New Year's?
Well,
Math.
I took, yeah, besides that, I might need it this year. Last year I took off to be with the family, you know,
Sure.
and before that, I don't think I missed a New Year's and I don't know how long, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But last year I took it off and I learned a big lesson. I'm not taking it off anymore to be with these nuts that I call my
In
family.
my house.
Yeah.
There you go.
I come out of the bathroom to party people, the horn in my face. I'm like, get out of here. You know,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I'm like, all right, I'm
Safer
out of
at
here.
work.
But,
Yeah.
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 But so anyway, I did get, I didn't kind of hold out for the money this year. It was like whoever reached out for it. I do like Brian. I do a lot of karaoke gigs, and a lot of these places will want to do something. So the first one that reached out, I'm like, I'll do it. And it's probably going to be a low budget New Year's Eve party, like bring your own party favors. You know, I don't think they're going to supply anything, but it's going to be different. I don't know what it's going to be, honestly. I've never done anything like this with them, but I do generally like New Year's Eve parties because one, I think you do get a different crowd sometimes.
You do.
You know, like, they come out of the woodwork, you know, on New Year's Eve.
I always
I
call
love
it amateur
playing.
night because that's kind of what it is.
I love playing for a mixed crowd like that. Those are that's the most fun for me.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, you could play anything and get away with it that night usually, you know? But that's what I'm expecting. There will be some karaoke mixed in, which I did not want to do.
Mhm.
It's probably going to get chaotic once they realize, oh, there's karaoke. Like
Yeah.
Brian, you're not doing. Are you doing karaoke
No,
New Year?
no karaoke. No.
Right. See, you're a smart guy. It's going to be too busy to keep up with the rotation.
It's too much
that
to
night.
manage.
There's too much
Yeah.
going on to manage
Yeah.
karaoke on
You
top.
got a list of 150 people that want to
It's
sing.
like you
It's
say,
like,
it's amateur night. I mean,
Yeah.
my first El Tritos in California, New Year's Eve at 8 o'clock at night, a guy and girl came in all dressed, really pretty dress, guys in a suit, 2 margaritas, came by. They're like, you know, 2 more. He's like, yeah. So I bring the 2 new ones, and as I put them down to take up the old ones, she threw up in the old empty glass. I'm like, yeah, I think she's good.
Yeah, she don't need
He just looks at me, goes, and he just looks at her like, seriously, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah. We had
I don't drink.
we had some protein spills last New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious, going around the room, what's the longest run of working New Year's Eve that you guys have?
Oh, you mean
Like,
consecutive New Year's in a row?
Consecutive years in a row. In my head, I just figured out what mine is.
Not the same people, right? Not the same
No.
club.
Just that you gigged or,
Oh, yeah.
because I mean, I'm counting bartending. Because when you're a bartender, you work every holiday. So
Right.
I probably did at least, I probably did 20.
I'm thinking 15, 16, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Just
it's closer
rough
to that. I don't
estimate.
remember.
Yeah. Straight.
Yeah.
numbers are,
15 to 20 maybe.
yeah, I did like 33.
Wow.
well,
Yeah.
Like in a row. But again, probably 7 of those are bartending.
Uh-huh.
And then from 96 on, it was DJing until like 2018. And I took off 19, obviously 20. But I mean, of those, I think 2 were weddings. And
Mm-hmm.
the only thing out here that's different, and I don't know why it's different, maybe because we get New Year's after you guys, and people on the East Coast seem to be more like, I never remember living in Boston or Saugus or anything and having guns go off on New Year's Eve. That's a thing in LA, fireworks and guns.
Really?
So the deal out here is for like Park Manor, the gay hotel, it was understood I got a room because they went till 2 a.m. So they're like, we'll give you a room as part of your pay. I'm like, sure.
Sure.
But weddings was always like, that was in the contract. Oh yeah, we're getting married and it's going to go, the hotel's letting us go till 1:30. I'm like, great. I just need a room included. And the two I did were very nice about it. They're like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they wouldn't blink an eye on that.
Yeah. But that's the worst thing is like 2:30 a.m. hitting the road and you're like,
Yeah, everyone's gone that you don't want to
Oh.
deal with at that
You
point.
don't want to be driving out there that night anyway, really.
It can get weird here. I remember I did a wedding. Well, Jay, you've been to Madison. This was north of Madison, about a half an hour.
Yep.
And I did a wedding up there. It was over at 1. They didn't tip well, and there was a snowstorm I had to drive home in. So I'm
to
out.
your house?
Yeah.
Oh, screw that.
So, I mean, in a snowstorm. I mean, a bad snowstorm, like blizzard. So that rubbed me wrong for a while. But now I'm in a good place because I'm right by downtown.
I was going to say, you could walk
That's
home.
nice. That's convenient.
Yeah,
at
I
least.
was
Even
just
when I
going to
was-
say that. Yeah.
When I was doing the casino, it was nothing for me to go to the casino and
yeah.
because it's right down the road.
Yeah.
So even if it's terrible weather, and I've had ice storms and everything else, like it's only 3 miles. Big deal. Take surface streets, take your time, you'll be fine.
Yeah. When I lived in San Diego, I think I was like maybe 9 miles from the hotel.
Sure.
And they, it's Brian's tribe. Couldn't be nicer. Dinner for Michelle and I, 5-course dinner they gave us every year. She would drive in, leave the kids with her mother, have the dinner, hang out with me for half an hour, and then go home. And then I got a room. So at the end of the night, I just took my CDs, left the gear set up, locked the doors to the room, brought my CDs down to the 6th floor, went in my room, got up, had breakfast, loaded out. It was great.
What's the 5th course in the dinner? I'm trying to figure it out right now. I've heard of 4.
I mean, they'd have like a super salad, an appetizer, there's an intermezzo, there's something else, the main course, and the dessert. But it was always a great meal.
Well, you just named 7.
Maybe it was 7. I thought.
Or is soup and salad separate or the same?
Separate.
Yeah, well. No, I was trying to figure it out.
Michelin book finished, Eric. You let me know. I want to get a copy of it.
Oh, you're going to get a copy. I'll even autograph it for you. Yeah.
Yes. Chef Walter White over here.
Is your caseworker is your caseworker okay with you being on here, like with the witness protection and all that stuff?
He's wearing a mask.
Well, that would explain a lot.
He looks exactly like Ricardo Montalban.
I got an ankle bracelet.
It's an AI costume. Yeah.
My ankle bracelet's blinking. It's working. Don't worry.
We have that out here. It's like they show 4 women's ankles with anklets. It's like Indian.
Tell everybody use German.
LA,
like, come on. It's like the worst
Diego,
witness protection program in the world.
Hemet, which would be like Racine. And it's like, it's the, the house monitor.
No, we're not doing New Year's down there. I enjoy it. Like I said, it's a ticketed event for us. So people are going to pretty much come in and stay where, because they've got party favors and food and drinks.
They're making a night out of it.
So they're making a night out of it. I'm not going to have a lot of people in and out. So I'll keep the crowd until close.
Yeah.
And man, I just had a blast with them last year. It didn't last as long as I wanted to. It could have gone, because we blew the system up. But it was tons of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it this year.
Since I've been out of the corporate loop on this for a few years, have you guys seen it go back at all? Like this was a big night 10 years ago, but towards the end of the teens, I started noticing like bars were suddenly like, we're not doing the 8 to 2 anymore. We're going to, like another bar tried to hire me when my bar closed down. Like, we're thinking we just need you like 10 to 1. How much would that cost? And I gave them what I thought was a reasonable price. And they're like, oh, wow, no, we were hoping to spend that much on 2 or 3 DJs. I'm like, guys, I'm not asking for ridiculous money here. It's New Year's Eve.
This is a big night. Yeah.
Charging at the door.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, it's like a $15 cover. I'm like, how many people do you expect? Oh, we could probably get like 600 people. I'm like,
then what are they complaining about?
$1,000 for 3 hours shouldn't be too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we were hoping to pay like 500 to the DJ.
I was hoping
to put on a sound system, dude.
A lot of things too, but it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's for a ticketed event, it's nice to have, of course, there's a DJ, but even if you're not running a ticketed event, it would be great to have a DJ and keep people there who show up because that's the game as far as
100%.
I'm concerned. And I've never managed a bar, but I know enough about the business where New Year's, you get a lot of people trickling in because they're bar hopping.
Yes.
And if you can keep them there,
Yep.
good. Even if they're not drinking, you want to keep them there.
The same thing with the night before Thanksgiving. It's the same thing.
And St. Patrick's Day out where I am too. I remember
that too.
playing that, and there's a line out the door. I can see them like lined up past the windows, waiting for the count to clicking at the door to let everybody in.
One more.
And it's freezing cold outside, and they're standing out there waiting to come see us.
Yeah.
Good job, people.
Yeah, out here it's a little because you're not going to hit freezing cold. You're not going to get like people go to certain places. Like oddly enough, I got a call. Dead Mouse is playing San Diego on New Year's Eve at a club.
Oh.
I got a call about, hey, you got any interest? Like probably get you in for like 100 each. Get you VIP. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Kind of not feeling that for New Year's Eve.
Well, I mean, there's it's one thing to work New Year's Eve. It's another thing to go out on New Year's Eve. I don't know that I would voluntarily leave the house on New Year's Eve.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, by 9 o'clock, if you've had a few, you're suddenly in the mood like, we should totally get an Uber. It's like, no, that ship has sailed.
Yeah. No,
that ship has sailed.
How they do that out west, Jay? Do they celebrate every hour for you?
The big one is 9 o'clock. You do the East Coast, and then I would just do midnight. I didn't do every hour, but I know places that try to play that. A lot of them advertise like, special New York New Year's Eve celebration. So for people that are, older, they might think like, oh, we can go for a few hours, 9 o'clock, get crazy, and then leave.
Well, if they got TVs on, then they can simulcast the ball drop from Times Square. You're like, oh, it's happening 3 hours ahead. Yeah. Now we get 3 hours more to
that stuff here. But we don't even roll that. I mean, I'm watching the clock on my computer screen to do the countdown.
Yeah.
Or I'll put it on my phone, do a countdown. But yeah,
I
do admit I miss downloading the promo only. Always used to have like either a Fat Man Scoop or a Little John.
The hype up countdown.
The hype up countdown.
And
it would have the actual year.
Yeah. And it was a video. Yeah.
I did the video when I was working the casino all the time.
Yeah, those were cool. Yeah.
I'd have Jimmy do something custom too. There'd be a video to play before New Year's and a video to play after New Year's. When you're playing non-music video, it would just come on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The thing I liked about their promo only is that they would go right into Old Lang Syne too. Like right after, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So you were hands free now. You were perfect from the 10 down to Happy New Year, right in the Old Lang Syne, and that played for 2.5, 3 minutes, right? I mean, so
I would just do Old Lang Syne for like a minute and a half, and then go in
fade it.
Kool and the Gang Celebration.
Okay, yeah.
And I think then either Vogue or I Believe, it would be like a Cher Madonna thing at midnight. And I took a lot of pride in knowing I had not played those in the first 4 hours.
You never did. It's the end of the world as we know it. Come on.
Pride.
Exactly.
We did that for Y2K, Eric. Yeah. All the computers.
Well, I told you a couple times I had guys come up to me, older gentlemen, because it was a notorious older gentleman Queen kind of hangout place. It wasn't like the 20-somethings that were like dropping Molly and going crazy. So they were thrilled with me playing disco and 80s.
Yeah.
You play Chains of Love, the 7-minute version, the whole thing, and people are just going ballistic. But a couple times guys came up and said, oh, I haven't partied like this since the garage. And I'm like, Paradise Garage? Oh my God, Larry would have us dancing all night. And I'm like, you want to just like turn the music off and be like, tell me more.
Yeah, I want to hear stories.
What was it like? Oh, between the loft and then they walk away into the crowd and you're like, seriously? I had a guy that went to the loft and the Paradise Garage.
Yeah.
Probably more than once, and he just wandered away like,
oh, sure.
But yeah, guys would come up and tip and be like, oh my God, this is great. Can you dance? I'm like, no, not very well. Get this thing. Yeah.
Not paid to dance. Yeah.
My wife said, just play music. But I had a blast every year. We started the first year with 50, and by the end of it, the peak towards the end was 800.
Nice.
Based solely on just coming up to have a good time. It was such a blast.
I've worked New
I would
Year's.
do that
Yeah.
if that came up. I would go do that this year.
Those are the feel good ones. I've worked ones that are crummy. I've worked places where I didn't like the people that were there, but I really have enjoyed the last few years at Safe House. It's been a lot of fun.
If you get a good crowd,
yeah, it's been a good crowd.
No attitude. I've got I
You
think
get
there was maybe
some attitude, but not a lot.
It was like maybe two or three girls. But
Yeah,
the
you always get a
attitude didn't
couple.
make its way to me.
Yeah.
The attitude was like broken once they got on the dance floor. People just went nuts.
You know what I think it is though, and
perfect.
this is something I think we should probably bring up here. I think if you're doing New Year's this year, and no matter where you're going to be playing, going with the best attitude because you're going to do some crowd interaction. And I think if you just kill them with kindness, they have no choice but to be kind to you back. 100%. And I was pulling this thing last year. I was like, hey, how's it going? What can I play for you? Hey, let's get a picture together. Just really trying to interact with them. It was the right night to do that. You wouldn't do it on any night, but you do on that night. And it was a lot of fun. And people tend to behave themselves. I could see somebody who was coming up to me maybe with a little bit of attitude, but I disarm them with just being really nice to them. And it helped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kill them with kindness.
So I think all of us as DJs, we feed off that crowd, don't we? I mean, right? We feed off it.
You're definitely coming home with a little after buzz from dealing with the people, and you just
when you've had a good New Year's Eve, it's a huge buzz. Yeah, you're not going right to sleep.
No,
right?
No,
that's just the energy that we draw from it. It makes us play better. It makes us mix better.
100%.
You still get that interaction, that one-on-one, and Brian's right. You come in with the right attitude and lift everybody. You want everyone to enjoy the party. I mean, you're going to get that situation where you've been playing since 8 and someone comes in at 10:30 and wants to hear 3 of the songs you've already played. Just be nice. It's like, I already played that one. How about this instead? I can't play it again because everyone that was here already heard that. So,
you know what? I'm really disappointed. Oh man, I just played those songs. Then I try it later on. How about something else in the meantime? Anything else?
Yeah.
Because
you keep everybody on the up. You know what I mean? Don't
it's
deliberately try to piss people off.
There's no bad request.
New Year's Eve is one night where I'll make an exception to that rule because there are so many people in and out, like usually where I'm at. So
that's a good point.
No request.
That is a super good point.
Like back when Uptown Funk was hot, and it's still hot, actually.
So this year we're going to get asked for Hot to Go for like 6 times.
Oh,
you play that song again. You play it again. You play it again.
You play app too.
Yeah, APT.
Pink Pony Club. That's another big one right
Pink
now.
Pony Club.
Well, whatever. I mean,
we can mentally prepare ourselves. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, how many versions of Espresso do you have, Eric?
All the remixes of Sabrina Carpenter you can tote with you, and Tate McRae. Bring all of that. Yes.
Yeah, I do have all of it. I'm not going to say I'm playing all of it, but
what was the big one last year for you guys?
Last year? Well, I was
the big new song last year. What was it for you guys?
We're playing "I'm Good" by BB Rexa. I think that was just last year.
That started blowing up towards the end of the year. Yeah,
it was still Uptown Funk.
I was doing the big one for me. Like
Eric's calendar in his bar says 2015.
Whatever, because really that was the last really good song ever released. The stuff we're getting today is terrible.
Shake your fist. Lil Boo thing was really big around New Year's.
Oh, I love that one too. Yeah.
That was just starting out.
Yeah.
And I had high hopes. I had high hopes for Dance the Night with what's her name? Yeah.
You know what, dude? I wish I had a 30-minute version. I freaking love that song.
Right?
I do not know what it is. Every version, the longest I have is like 4:02, and part of me wants to just play it twice. That song should be so much bigger than it is. I think
you're absolutely right. I had high hopes for that.
It was good.
Yeah,
and the movie was incredibly successful. So that had
huge
last year. I was summertime, whatever.
I'm throwing this out there because I know they both probably watched Dua and Purple Disco Machine. I want to see an album come out in 2025. Purple Disco Machine, every song with Dua Lipa on vocals. Can you imagine the music those two could put out? I think she's on that track, Honey, isn't she?
Is she?
I think.
Honey?
I could be wrong in that, but I would love to hear her voice with his music.
Could be Sophie Tucker group.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's Sophie
Whatever
Tucker.
the woman is in that. I know.
I think Dua Lipa and Purple Disco Machine. That would be insanely good.
So what's hot this year, guys? What's going to be the hot New Year's track? Because I got nothing.
You
Hot
don't?
to go, probably.
Hot to go for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Right. It's
Of
going to
course,
be
what?
of course.
Good luck, babe.
No, you know what they're going to do?
luck,
They're going
babe.
to
Good
use
luck,
the
babe.
5,
Yes.
6. You know what you do? You don't play it till midnight, and you figure out how to hot cue the numbers. So you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, and then bang right at midnight. Happy New Year's, and then you hit hot to go.
You're right.
Yeah,
That's
lead
what
in
I
with
would
like
try.
take like Lou Bega, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then off you go.
Yeah.
Just,
I honestly, I'll throw one more out there for this year. Shabuzi, the bar song. I really think that's going to be
Oh.
requested.
see the
yeah.
bar song for
It's a
sure.
one and
I'm going to
done.
send this out to everyone in the club.
You'll never
Yeah,
hear that
whatever.
song.
I mean, I'm just saying. Brian asked what you think the big one this year.
No,
would
really.
be. I think that.
The
You know
new
what the
Gaga
good one
song.
out here
The new
is?
Gaga song's not doing bad. It's Disease, I think it's called. That's catchy.
Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
have that.
Believe it or not, the one that's blown up out here that I played the other night and it crushed, the biggest song of the night was what's it, Shabble You by Kendrick Lamar.
Well, Kendrick Lamar doesn't surprise
The one that says
me. Yeah.
A minor. I think it's called Shabble.
I'm going to have to get on this because I haven't been out gigging a lot. Last time I gigged was Halloween. I got to get on this and brush up. Hot to Go did incredibly well at Halloween.
Mhm.
And what was the other one? Good Luck, Babe. Right, that was another
Luck,
one.
Babe.
That
Yeah, that's hard too.
yeah.
I'm going to have to really brush up.
Like all the Sabrina
Might work
Carpenter's
it out for me.
Bedchem, Taste is big. Go ahead, please. Early in the night. It's not really energy dance, but people like that.
Charlie
Squabble Up.
XCX.
My bad. Squabble Up.
Squabble up.
Yeah, it's got a call and return in it about like, where are you from? And like everyone is screaming it. I'll play it after the show. You've probably heard it and didn't realize
Oh,
it.
I can't wait.
The big one is
Yeah,
not
well,
like
I'm telling
not
you.
like us. It's the big one.
Oh God. Squabble Up, huh?
Mhm.
Not now. I want to hear it. I have to hear it.
That just feels so catch me outside. Which is
Yeah.
like the,
I think it was the one that defined the fact that the crew asked for a business card and asked if I had openings this summer. And I'm like, is that how bad your DJs really are? That you're asking me, the wedding guy, who's like 3 times the age of your
Never
DJ?
underestimate the wedding guy because we know
No,
stuff.
that's what I mean. I left there so pumped about it. Like every time I do these corporate things, if it's in a bar nightclub thing, they're like, hey man, you got a card? Because I think it's A, I'm sober, and B, I'm not playing swears. So the management's like, holy jeez, this is awesome.
Where have you been all our life? And then they never call you. And you're like, yeah, that was
No.
short lived.
But it's just knowing that the hot girl thinks you're cute. Sometimes that's enough.
right.
I get yelled at the bars because I'll always do the edit because I'm so used to it at a wedding, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Hey, we're all adults here," you know. I'm like, yeah, I know. I said, but I do a lot of weddings, and I'm not, you know. That's why I'm used to doing these, you know.
Well, you're
But,
doing the
yeah.
legit music services too, and it's not like they're giving you, the
Right.
FU versions of songs.
Right.
So
But-
why should you buy them twice?
The
So, hey,
biggest
this is
one
what I
was
have is what I'm playing.
the
Right.
Zach Brown band Toes with the, ass in the sand, and
Yeah.
Right.
not
but
compared
and
to
my
the
mind's
others.
kind of bleeped out, and they're like, "Come on, dude, we're adults here." I said, "I know, but I just, this is the one I use at weddings. Period. It's,
I think for New
But,
Year's Eve,
yeah.
especially for Brian, you got to work clean. He's going to have 21 to 75-year-olds. The old people are the ones that are going to come up to him afterwards and go, we need someone like you to work every weekend at our yacht club. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
your man.
At our nursing home.
21-year-olds won't remember who DJ'd.
I'm
but it's the
envious
older
of
people with
Brian.
money.
I'm envious of his crowd that he's going to get. I
Oh,
love
it's
that
gonna be
kind
a
of
fun
crowd.
night.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's gonna be a fun night.
Musically, it's going to be.
It'll
a
be
fun
work.
night.
I mean, we're going to have to stitch it together in a way that makes sense, but we can. That's what we do.
Here's my attitude. And this is a different topic almost, but on New Year's, I sweat it until New Year's, like until midnight. I'm really trying hard to do a good job. After midnight, it's just flowing out of me and it's happening. I don't know what it is, but I just really feel like maybe it's this thing in my head where I'm thinking, this is the last time I'm going to DJ this year and I really got to make it good. I don't know what it is, But after midnight, I'm cruising, and it's
Well,
good.
you got to hold them
Great,
to the finish line. It's a race, and
Yeah. Well, you're over the hump.
once you cross the ribbon,
We got it. We got it.
won the battle.
No, but
Now
I'd like to add to that, though, Brian. At midnight, and you said it just flows. Actually, that's a blessing for the crowd too. At that point, now they're pumped up. A happy New Year, love you, hit your kiss.
Yeah.
And now let's party. I think that I don't think the party really really gets going until after midnight. Some cases, because they're all there for that one ball drop. Or
maybe it's a weird expectation the crowd has. Like you have to qualify yourself until midnight, and after that, it's like, let's just do this. I don't know what it is.
I hold some bangers back. I just pound them after midnight from like 12 to 12:30. It's just energy onslaught.
Right.
It's
right. You go out with a bang. This is it, the last hour, and I'm gonna make it memorable. Period.
That's gonna be all up tempo.
You're gonna drive home singing everything I played.
Yeah, no snoozers. All bangers, no snoozers.
Yep. No, just
I've
absolutely.
always said this too, like years ago. This was my slogan. No matter how hard you try at a gig, the only song they're gonna remember is that last one.
It's not like
really? What?
You're only as good as your last song.
You're only as good as your last one, is what he meant to say.
You're only good as your last bowel movement. I mean, it's just come on.
Hey,
how many times have you been wrapping up your gear and you hear people singing that last song though as they're walking out the door? That's kind of how I come up with that, But
yeah, if you can leave, I think with weddings especially, if there's like a memory track you can drop at the end, that's not a bad thing.
It's almost, I don't know. In my world, it almost seems like towards the end of the night, like the bar is just spent. They are. I mean, the people who you work with are exhausted. They're like, get him out of here.
There's nothing left in the tank.
Get him out of here. Ask Jay. He's all
playing bangers. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Jay knows all about it.
They drink all the whatever.
Yeah, we're out of everything. Yeah.
We've had situations before where we've had those big nights, and after a certain time, they're not spending any money at the bar.
Well,
they're
and
just
you
partying,
don't want them to. You want them out at 1, not 2, because at 1 they'll go somewhere else. At 2, they're your problem.
Yeah.
Where were you drinking? Jay's bar. Bingo. Versus where were you? Oh, we just went into Brian's place. Even if you didn't serve them, you want them out. Like Massachusetts is a good example. Every town and city has a different last call for that reason. To the point where when I bartended, our last call was 1:30.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? The town next to us, their last call was 1:45, and Boston was 2:00.
Right.
So people would make
everybody in Mass have to be out by 2.
You have to be out by 2, but when I say 2, it's like 1:55.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked places that'll serve you up to 1:59, and then if it's still sitting on the bar, they're going to taking it at 2.
You better chug it, or I'm taking it.
Take it with you, because if it's on the bar, I'm taking it. Yep.
Well, after the last half hour, the rule was no pitchers, no blenders.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, can I get a frozen? No. You can get a bottle, you can get a drink.
Yeah.
We're not serving any pitchers anymore. Why not? Because you won't finish it.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all plastic. I think it's all plastic.
Yeah.
Like everything, no matter what, it's plastic.
Yeah, once you hit midnight, your job is technically over because that was the party. The party was a New Year's Eve party. Now it's New Year's Day. Now you're just skating. And
maybe that's what it is.
Okay, we saw it. We can go now.
No, but the energy is good then. The energy is
yeah.
Well, and they're having fun. They're still drinking, but I don't know. It's
slowing.
It's like you go uphill to midnight, and then it's like, oh, you can coast a little bit, and it's fun and it comes easy. But I think a lot of it too is I'm trying to hold certain tracks back until after midnight.
Right, 100%.
So normally I would just play whatever, and just whatever is going to work. I'm going to play right now. I'm going to play right now, and I'll worry about what I'm going to do later. No. On New Year's, I want to hold certain tracks till after midnight.
Oh, yeah.
You got to program a little tighter.
And I always think to myself, we're going to start the year off on a positive note, and this is the note. Whatever.
That's why I always held back Celebration.
Yeah.
People ask for it all night long. 4 straight hours of, hey, man, you can play Celebration. I'm like, at midnight. Oh, that's awesome. At midnight, that's so good. Thank you. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, got to hold that back. Got to hold Do You Believe in Love? Got to hold back Vogue. Got to hold back a few things. Because I need that energy level, like you say, at midnight to carry over to 1:30.
Do you believe in love?
Huey?
Hey, Huey.
Oh, the tribe likes that song. Oh,
Huey
yes.
Lewis in the news?
Huh?
Huey Lewis in the news? Do you believe in love?
No, Cher.
Oh,
Oh,
believe.
believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
believe.
Well, when she
Well,
gave
whatever.
me the demo, she
Yeah.
said, "Here, it's a new track."
The song is
I'm gonna
called
call it
Believe.
You
Yeah, I'm
Believe
thinking
in
Huey
Love.
Lewis in the news. Wee oo, wee
No.
oo.
I also
Yeah,
said
the
that's
gays
4
love that
points for
song.
John.
What? Yeah.
No, it's a funny thing. Like
Yeah.
when
The
I was managing a
LGBTQ
club,
community is all about Huey Lewis.
Yes.
we did everything at 10 minutes, either 15 or 10 minutes. We would never make an announcement at 10 o'clock because someone would look at their watch and go, "Oh man, it's already 10. We should get out of here." But if you did it at 10 after or quarter after, they'd look at their watch and be like, "Man, we should probably go like 15 minutes." A manager taught me this. So that's the downside of New Year's Eve is exactly what time it is. It's Happy New Year. Okay, now it's midnight. So now you understand the time frame you're working with. I've got an hour to go. Okay, well, we don't want
I
to get
still
stuck
can't
in
get over
traffic.
just imagining you playing Huey Lewis for a big
At the
crowd.
ball
like,
drop. That's the first song to
Yeah.
start 2025.
I
Well,
was walking down a one-way street.
no, they would have thrown
Sorry,
me
I can't
off
get
the
out of my
roof.
head. It's
Would have
there
thrown
now.
me off the roof. They were bigger than me.
You play. You followed up with "I want a new drug." I mean, what's going on here?
You know what? You know what? I'm playing it now. I'm doing it this
Is that our
year.
mission? We're all going to sneak in Huey Lewis. Do you believe in love?
And I'm going to
love you,
record it.
early
hello,
set.
love.
We'll
And I'm
all
gonna
we'll all send
record
each other
it.
these clips. Yeah.
Yes,
There you go.
yes. What's our
It's the
response?
challenge.
We'll do it like 9:05. Get it in early.
5 million bonus points if you play it for the first song after
And you're
midnight.
making me
There'll be at
believe it
least-
too.
I
There'll
just
be at
saw a
least one
thing
person that'll appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay?
that when
Send him to John Young because he'll like that. His little Huey for you
he'd
on New
love
Year's
that.
Eve.
It's his birthday. It's his
Do a
birthday,
Huey
by the way,
montage.
right? Yeah.
I just saw a thing when Skid Row was on tour with Kiss on the retirement tour back in the late 90s. They would challenge Paul Stanley every night to mention expressions, words, or parts of songs in his stage rap. And he did it every night. They would just give him lines or words and it'd be like, "Go ahead, Paul, figure out how to work this into talking about Detroit. You know what, Detroit? Do you believe in love?" There you go. I did it.
Do you know who used to do that every night? And I didn't know what they were doing until I knew. David Letterman did that every night in his monologue.
Who gave him the word?
There's something he had to try
The
to
crowd.
work in. Okay.
Yeah, he would come out and warm the crowd up.
Oh, that's
and he would
genius.
talk to people. Where are you from? I'm from Kingstown, Iowa. Well, what goes on there? Well, I'm a farmer. Oh, and it goes on to this whole thing. So he'll do this monologue, and somehow he work in Kingstown, Iowa, and the crowd will erupt laughing because it's a private joke between the crowd and Letterman, but the audience watching has no idea what he's
Yeah,
saying.
well, like,
Yeah.
what is that? What's so funny
Genius.
about that? Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if you go back and watch
The
the Letterman
watching
monologue,
audience doesn't get it. We're at home.
yeah,
going,
we're at home. We don't get
the
it.
audience erupts laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, at least I'm
Hysterically
not farming
laughing.
potatoes in Iowa.
And everybody at home was like,
starts laughing.
why
and
is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a private joke. It's,
No, that's
yeah,
great, though. Really.
always did
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
No computers, no internet, no nothing to look up. What's going on in Kingstown, Iowa?
right.
Yeah.
Get me the Encyclopedia Britannica immediately.
I say, what do you do? Well, I'm a bricklayer, and they'll make a joke about it, and then the monologue will say something about bricklayers. All of a sudden, everybody just start laughing hysterically. It was pretty cool to see live when you're in the audience.
Well, it makes sense considering he had those segments where he would go to a store called Just Lamps. Like, hey, do you have lampshades? No, that would be
No.
Just Shades. And there's a store in New York called Just Shades.
Brian almost choked. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and then they cut scene, and now he's standing outside Just Shades asking
Hey,
for a
can
lamp,
I get
right?
some lights? No, we just sell shades.
Do you have light bulbs? No.
No.
Just Shades.
That would be a Just Bulbs. And there was a store. So you sell just light bulbs? Yeah. What kind? Every kind. Well, can I get a lighting fixture? No. Really? No. Larry Bud Melman and him going around the
Yeah,
city.
Larry Bud Melman and Klondike, and that was
Yeah,
no, but he did that same sort of wordplay. That was very funny. So
Yeah.
totally off topic. We're Bidding a dead horse, I think, guys, aren't we?
I think because it's the end of the year, folks. We've put up 7,500 of these shows
I
in the
know.
last
Yeah.
12 months.
We've been nonstop all year long, working hard for you guys watching. So hope you
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's a hangout.
It is.
And by the way, the show is brought to you by DJ Event Planner. Check them out in the description of this video. Have a look at their website. Thank you, DJ Event Planner, for being one of our channel sponsors. Got other channel sponsors that we will list down in the description of this video on YouTube.
Yep.
And a happy turning of the calendar.
Happy 2025.
Nobody even had to remind me. I just did the sponsor.
Yeah, it was coming. I was watching
Thank you.
I could feel your energy, John. So I can actually say you reminded me, but like, yeah.
I was telepathically
You
sending
were
it.
telepathically,
Telepathically.
thanks, guys.